Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in for another Chicago Bears preseason reaction. And the Bears look absolutely dominant in a 38-0 win at home against the Buffalo Bills. But what I do want to preface before I get into my reaction and my thoughts about this game, let's not get too hype about this. Pump the brakes, calm down. It is preseason. The Bears did pitch a shutout, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. It is preseason. But I want to give my thoughts on some things that stood out to me during this entire game. And let's just not make this intro any longer. Time to talk some Chicago Bears football. Without further ado, let's dive into it. Now, of course, the thing that stands out to me from this entire game is how the Bears looked offensively, whether we're talking about the first, second, third string units. It just looks like this Bears team was a little bit more free-flowing offensively. Now, while granted, Buffalo didn't really play a lot of their starters, I was just personally looking for the execution. How was Caleb Williams going to be getting the ball out? How were things going to be looking offensively with the offensive line? Those were the main things that I was particularly looking for within the course of this game. And the Bears offensively, this entire game, whether we're talking about the running game with Ian Wheeler, who I think is another player that could stand out, especially that Swift and Monangai, both guys did not play today. Britton Brown, who was brought in because of injuries to the running back room, he had a good game. Ian Wheeler with 19 carries for 80 yards and 2 scores. Britton Brown for 16 carries, 73 yards and a score. The offensive running game looked good, even though they didn't have a run over 14 yards. But it was just a methodical, we're going to commit to a run game, and that is something that's also I was looking for with Ben Johnson. Even though he did start off the game with Caleb throwing a ball a ton, he committed to a run game, which is something that, I'll be honest, the Bears haven't had in a while. And offensively, Caleb looked fluent. Caleb looked like he was poised. Caleb looked like, okay, even if I don't have a play, he was running. He made a run to throw outside of the pocket and throw it away. And that is a big thing, okay? Because a lot of fans will say, oh, he threw the ball away. Where he threw the ball away? Lived to fight another down. And on that drive, he lived to fight another down, which ended up turning into a Chicago Bears touchdown drive, which I think that is a very important thing when you're talking about developing a young quarterback in a new offense and a new system. Just the little intricate things that matter. Is it throwing with anticipation, which we saw tonight with a couple of routes to Colston Loveland, with a route to Cole Kmet. He had a throw to DJ Moore on the outside. That was another one that was dropped by Odunze, but it was the fact of he was poised, he made quick decisions and got the ball out of his hands into his playmakers' hands to make them make plays. And that was one thing that I wanted to see out of Caleb in this game. And the offensive line played well on all levels, only allowing 1 sack, which came later on. I think it was in the second quarter when they were trying to drive to get at least at field goal range, which didn't happen. But the Bears played well. Defensively, they looked stout on all units, slowing down the Bills' run game. They didn't really get to throw the ball opportunities. They didn't throw the ball well at all. The blitzes were coming. The man-to-man coverage looked well. And for the most part, the Bears played a very good preseason game. And I will preface this when I say it is the preseason. It's the preseason. Relax. Now, they did cause a turnover. They had 31 first downs offensively. They got off the field on third down. The Bills didn't convert a third or fourth down the entire game, which I thought was a little bit cleaned up from last week, where the Bears had a little bit of a struggle getting off the field on third down. So, and the Bears themselves were 9 of 16 for third down. I've always felt third down efficiency on both sides of the ball are key components when we're talking about winning and losing football games. So you look at this from the Bears' perspective, you come out of this game with a lot of things you've done well. And when we're talking about Luke the Burden, not only receiving the ball, but also blocking as well, that's how you're going to get on the field. That's how you're going to get targets in the Ben Johnson system and the Ben Johnson offense if you are a willing and participant blocker. And that is something that we've seen, and Greg Olsen did a good job of pointing that out on 2 occasions deep in the red zone where he was helping spring the running backs for scoring opportunities when we're talking about this Bears unit in the goal line situations. Those are key plays that don't show up on stat sheets, but when we're talking about wide receiving blocking downfield, those are things that are big time that can get a 7-yard run boosted to probably a 20-yard run, or a 5-yard run, you get an 8-yard run, and sets up different situations and different scenarios for your offense. So that is another thing that I really, really like to see out of Luther Burden and this wide receiving core in general, is them blocking downfield. You had Tyler Scott, who I had hopes for earlier in his career to be a part of this Chicago Bears offense with his speed. He showed some flashes today as well. Torrey had some good catches. So offensively, it looked like everything was clicking for this Bears unit. Defensively, of course, you didn't have all of your guys there. It did suck that Terrell Smith went down with, it looks like, a serious injury, which sucks because he was slated to be a guy that was going to be not only just a depth piece, but a very good rotational piece, as we seen him have times last season where he played some solid football. And another guy that I was kind of looking forward to seeing on that defense is Ruben Hippolyte, and he has been playing some really good football these preseason games. A guy that they drafted this past draft, I think it was in the 5th round, 4th, 5th round. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but a guy that was a 4th round pick, I'm looking at it now. I think his play could be instrumental into this Bears defense. We're talking about Edwards, Edmunds, and if you need a rotational spot or if you need a third linebacker spot, another guy that can fly around the football field, another guy that can make plays. I think the development of Ruben Hippolyte and his Dennis Allen defense could loom large for this Bears unit. Of course, Austin Booker still had a very productive game, had a sack. Andrew Billings had a sack. So this Bears unit defensively, I like what we're seeing there. A little bit more aggressive when we're talking about Dennis Allen's defense versus the Matt Eberflus defense. We get to see that they are a bit more aggressive. They're a little bit to stick the guys in islands, but for this night in particular, they held up. And, of course, what would it be with a Buffalo Bills Bears preseason game without me talking about a Mitchell Trubisky citing a guy who Bears fans have a strange relationship with. Me personally, I've always been a guy that rooted for Trubisky. Things may have not worked out here. I just hope he does get that backup spot. We've seen things in Pittsburgh not necessarily work out, but I am one of those guys that kind of still roots for Trubisky, and I will be honest. I kind of still want him to do well. Still want him to play some solid football. We know he's not going to see a lot of the field with Josh Allen, my boy, out there, but it's just to see a lot of things from this Bears offense click. Now, like I said, don't read too much into this because at this point, Bills didn't play their starters. It is preseason, so things are going to change regular season. But I do like the execution. I do like the fact that defensively, they are a lot more aggressive than we would have been under Eberflus. I do like the fact that offensively, there was a commitment to the run game. I don't care if it's second, third string. There was a commitment to the run game. Ian Wheeler showed spots. Britton Brown showed spots. Deion Hankins even showed spots. So I do like the fact that they run the football a lot more. So this is a very good preseason game for as far as what do you want to take from this Bears offense. There's probably still things they're going to correct. You're going to probably see different things if when DeAndre Swift is elevated to playing with the starters and playing him in his roster week 1. So one thing I will read into with this Bears offense in this particular game is that it looks like they're starting to pick up what the offense is going to do. They're starting to pick up things as far as quick decisions, run the football, being very physical, taking in the coaching, wide receivers blocking. You're starting to see some flashes of things that could potentially lead to good success in the regular season. I don't care about the stats. I don't care about winning or losing in a certain point of this preseason game. Yeah, you get a win. Yeah, you get a shutout, which is another positive thing that your defense played that well that they shut a Buffalo Bills team out. But I was just looking more for the execution of this offense, and it looks stellar on all fronts and all levels, first, second, third string. So overall, this is a very good game for the Chicago Bears. The Bears win 38-0, shut out the Buffalo Bills. We got preseason game number 3 Friday. I think that is against KC, if I'm not mistaken. But that's all I have. I don't want to make this too long. It's already late as I'm recording this now. So either way, Bears win 38-0. Their final preseason game at home. Next week, Kansas City on Friday night preseason game. And then week 1 of the regular season. But that's all I've got. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys leave this video a like as it continues to help this channel to grow. Click the subscribe button and all that good stuff and notification bell. And I will catch you guys later. Have a great and excellent day. Bear down. Peace.